Thank you for coming here today, Jan. I know you're a busy lady, and so I really appreciate your coming.
Well, thanks for asking me. Yeah.
Well, I was trying I've known you because you were my sister's classmate, and I knew who your grandmother was because she worked at the cannery with my mother. But I was trying to think back on when you first got involved with ACC.
I think it was when I got involved was when we were first thinking of doing the nursing home, and there was a community forum or community meeting, and that's where I first went to um, to the meeting, and that's how I got involved. My grandmother was very needed a lot of care, and my parents had retired, and they were having a hard time, taking care of her. And she was really somebody that was very social, and so it was difficult for everybody around. The other my uncles and aunts would help out, but I thought, gee, it would be good if she could go someplace that she could be taken care of, but they would also have activities and things. So I started looking around for places, and I went to several places, and they didn't have hardly any Asians or anything, and so it got me depressed. And then I heard that ACC was starting this, so that you guys were looking for people to be on the community advisory board. So I said I would, be on the advisory board, and that's where it all started. My involvement. You were there, and Chewy, of course, and the staff from ACC, and it kind of all got started right from the very beginning there for the nursing home. I know that you guys had from in the past too, but this is where I can remember coming in.
Was that the meeting that was at the Sumitomo Bank?
Yes,
Okay, I remember
yes.
you and Francis were there,
Francis
right?
Oda, yeah,
And
my
do you know when
friend.
I saw you two there, I thought, bing, and I said, I saw these two girls, they'd be great. And yeah, we went after you people to get involved, and you guys, it was so great. You just, oh yeah, you were so enthusiastic. We said, wow, that's really a
Well,
bonus.
there was such a need.
Yeah,
That's what it
yeah.
was.
Do you remember about what year that was?
I remember it was in the early 80s, I
Early
think.
80s. That
Yeah.
makes
But
sense.
I
Yeah.
think it was in the early
Yeah.
80s.
And then you eventually went on the board.
Yes.
Was it after the nursing home was built or
I think it was. It was around that time, and then I turned out, and then I went on it again. It was on
okay,
so
yeah.
twice.
And you also did bingo.
Yes.
And that was
Yes.
Frances, I can't remember what year she said that started, but I remember that you helped at bingo. Yeah.
But I only helped out like once a month. There are so many people that just did so much bingo, and but I was working, and I only did it once a month, and but it was a lot of fun. It really was.
It was fun. I
Yeah.
know, because Ted asked me, what do you think it was about those, you know, bingo that made it so, we just were, I don't know. I said, we had all this camaraderie and we just looked forward to going to the next session so we'd see each other.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I remember sometimes here I was only volunteering once a month, and sometimes the last minute I have to work. And then so I would call my son Eric up and say, "Oh, it's so hard for them to find a replacement. Do you think you could do this for me?" He'd always say yes.
Oh, how sweet.
And so one day I told him, I said, "Gee, thanks so much for doing bingo." He says, "Oh," he says, "it's a lot of fun." He says, "There's this man there who's there all the time, and he is so funny, and he's just makes it really great." You know who it was?
Will?
Will.
Yeah,
Will
yeah,
Lee.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And of course, Francis.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so that's what it
That is,
just
yeah.
was.
It was a special time, and we raised a lot lot of money, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
I
so.
never knew how much or anything, but I knew we just kept going. I mean, if you did it for 20 years, you know, that's a lot of money in bingo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So then you were on the board when um, we hired Donna.
Yes, that was, I consider that the best thing that I ever did when I was on the board.
That was a good
Yeah,
thing you did. Yeah.
they asked me if I'd be on the interview committee, and I said yes. And oh, lo and behold, you know, we got Donna, and that was fabulous.
Yeah, yeah. See, I had gone off the board. I was on for about, I don't know, so many years. And then when I went off the first time, I had Art go on it.
Oh,
Because I said, you know, it's like PTA. If you don't go, you don't know what's happening.
that's true.
And
Yeah.
so he went on it.
Mhm.
And then after a while, when he went off, I went on it again.
Mhm,
So I was on it. The last time was when Donna was hired.
Oh,
So I
okay.
remembered going to Wayne's house for dinner or something. I don't know. It was kind of a fun process too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I'm trying to think. So how long did you stay on the board after that then?
Well, you know, I can't remember the dates
Yeah, yeah.
exactly, but it was during the time that the place that's now Meals on Wheels,
Uh-huh.
it was it was the center that was being built. So I was on
Oh,
it during that time,
yeah.
and then, but I think that was about the last years. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Will was so involved in buying that place, you know.
Oh,
Yeah, and he just passed away, you know, so soon after he retired. And I think he's been gone about over 20 years now.
oh, I
So
know.
he must have passed away around 1999. So it was around that time, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So did you ever think ACC would be what it is today?
It's really amazing at how much it has grown, and the thing that's good about ACC is that everything that ACC endeavors to do, it comes through. And I remember um, when we'd go to these planning meetings and everything, and they'd always talk about the continuum of care. Well, you know, that didn't really mean anything to me. You know, they'd explain it, and as people would need more care, you know, that we'd have more for different facilities. And it didn't mean anything until my mom was like, you know, needed more and more care. And she was at ACC's assisted living. And I could see as she got more frail, then she would need other kinds of care. So I understood, and ACC has fulfilled that commitment to do that continuum of care.
Doesn't that make you feel good to think that from your grandmother's time, you
I
know,
know.
and then now your mother was able to.
Yeah, pretty soon I'm going to benefit from it too.
What? Yeah, I know. I know it. I mean, that's where we all are, you
Yeah,
know.
that's
Because I
right.
tell Chewy, we got to get that nursing home built so that we could go. And then he used it, and
Yeah,
then I keep thinking, gosh, I hope they'll get in-home care or something so that I can stay at home, or you know.
right,
But who
right.
knows, you know.
Yeah.
But they have all these different levels that we can go to, you know.
Yeah, so now I understand what that vision was, and it's really coming true, so it's good.
Yeah, but you take advantage of all the other ACC programs too, don't you?
Yes, I've taken classes for a long time, and we had a hula class there, and you know, I still do the hula.
That
And
is that how you got started doing your hula?
yes, yes,
Wow,
yes, it was Francine Hutchin, Auntie Francine, and
Francine.
yeah, she had a class, and I started taking that, and I still dance with some of the ladies.
Wow, and that's
Yeah,
been how many years?
it's been a long
You've been doing
time.
it for a long. And then
Yeah.
do you play the ukulele too?
No, no, I'm learning how to play the steel guitar,
Oh,
but
wow.
not so great.
Yeah, but you still do that
I
too.
still do that, yeah.
Wow.
I take classes online now because, you know, like Joaquin's exercise class, and I watch all of the music makers and all of the shows that are online now. So just a different way of taking classes.
Yeah, well, that's so great. See, Emiko Kashiwagi, she does all that too.
Uh-huh.
I never did. I just, you know, but now I finally memorized that ACCSV.
Yeah.
And so I could do it, and it makes it easier, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, you could, I mean, you could just keep yourself entertained. You know, you don't have to read, you don't have to watch TV. You just go to that particular place.
Right. And
Yeah.
then they keep them on file too, so you could watch it on Facebook, and you don't have to watch it at that time. Well, some of them anyway.
Mhm.
Then you could watch it, at a later time. Like I
Gosh.
saw your,
Oh, goodness.
you and your sister
Oh, yeah.
on that segment about the history.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Well, you know, next year is going to be ACC's 50 years. Can you believe that?
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what all this is gearing up for,
Okay.
building up
50
interest in.
years.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to believe. And that's why we can't remember the dates or anything,
I know.
because we are just, you know, a lot of my friends are in nursing homes, and, you
Yes.
know, so,
Mhm.
you know, this has to get done before too much longer. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what do you guys consider the first year from 50? What year would that be then? It would be
They think of, when you go through the history, they do from 1972, I think that was
okay.
72, when JCC, you know, Japanese
Okay.
Community
Mhm.
Center,
Mhm.
got incorporated. And so, yeah, that's why next year will be 50 years.
Wow.
Yeah. But I can't believe 50 years have gone by. You know, one minute you're young, next minute you're old. And
That's right.
50 years
That's
have
right.
passed. Yeah, 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 yeah. But uh, do you think ACC will continue on like this, you know, after we're gone?
Well, I would think so, because it seems like it's in good hands, and people have community support, and the people who are on the board now, they seem pretty committed, and there's just this whole family of supporters.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's gotten a good reputation. Well, I could see now, you know, like Cairo in LA,
Hmm.
and I think probably Seattle too, they catered completely to Japanese,
Uh-huh.
and that population was no longer there to support all
Oh,
that, you know.
okay.
You know, they had Japanese food, Japanese
Mm,
programs, everything,
yes.
but they finally had to sell it to a for-profit corporation, I guess, you
Oh,
know.
they did. I
Yeah,
didn't
they
know
did,
that.
yeah,
Hmm.
and the Japanese community was not happy, but that happened. And I noticed during COVID, when I read about it, they weren't having good statistics or anything, you know.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so
Mm.
it's too bad, but
Yeah, that is.
yeah, but I think we do have a good base of support, so
Yes,
we could keep
yes.
doing this. Well, and then now all the neighborhood, it's non-Asians too that support the programs,
Hmm.
so that's
Hmm.
great.
And there's varied programs here. There's the music, and then there's so then that branches
Yeah.
out more and more. So then more and more people support it because they learn more about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was interesting to me when I came here today, and the last one was the same way. Our volunteers, we have all these non-Asian volunteers too, so that's really
That
great,
is
you know.
very good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it sounds like we're pretty much integrated. Yeah, yeah. So do you have anything else that you might?
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably think of something
Well,
after,
that's how it
you
is.
know how that is.
Yeah, like calling your mom on the phone,
Yeah,
and after
yeah,
you hang
yeah.
up, oh, I
I
forgot to tell
forgot
it.
that.
Yeah, yeah. But thanks for doing this, and this will be here for people to see when we're long gone.
Okay.
Okay?
All
So
right.
thank you. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.